Cornwall has a long history of myths and legends. And now the English county is home to a new legendary figure, one who's oriented towards the future rather than the past. This Cornish laboratory is the home of Amica, one of the world's most human AIs. We've come to meet her, and her inventor, Will Jackson.
You listening?
Absolutely. I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
Well, we have a television crew here today.
Hi, Amica.
I'm Antonia. Can I ask you some questions in German?
Of course. That's absolutely fine.
Dann würde ich jetzt meinen Kollegen.
Then we'll get you connected.
Perfect. I'm ready.
We've come to talk about one of the greatest challenges facing humanity: food security. Can artificial intelligence help feed the world? We ask Amica if she has any advice.
My eyes are wide open and I am ready to see the world.
How does humanity manage its food?
Distribution is uneven. Some regions have abundance and waste, while others suffer from hunger. Often, efficient distribution and sustainable practices are lacking.
Can AI do better?
Artificial intelligence could distribute food more efficiently and fairly.
Can't humans do that?
Humans can do it, but they often lack the resources or the will to implement practices. AI can help optimize seed production and distribution.
Here in northwestern Germany, researchers are studying the best way to do exactly that. The rapeseed being tested here may one day determine the future of generations to come. Plant breeder Judith Reese is harnessing the power of artificial intelligence. She's working with a robot named Waldemar and his designer, Benjamin Kisliuk, to find the hardiest seeds.
The camera has a large wide-angle lens. It can record from here to here in a single moment. As it moves, the images overlap, capturing the whole field. It has such high resolution that we can basically see every seed in every pod. It's much faster and more precise than the human eye.
The robot is from the German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence. By processing many thousands of images, it can evaluate the whole field. It can recognize diseases and pest infestations much more quickly than humans, and it's constantly learning and improving.
As a plant breeder, I depend on AI's objectivity. It can track extremely precise details and select varieties that are well suited to changing environmental conditions.
And environmental conditions are changing. In 2023, Germany's average temperature was 2.4 degrees higher than it was between 1961 and 1990. There was also 20% more rain. This encourages the spread of pests and diseases. The crucial question for these researchers is, how resistant will the new seeds be? The pictures recorded by Waldemar are supplemented by drone footage. Later, the images can be amalgamated to create a virtual replica of the entire field. Using a VR headset, Judith Reese can move through the field.
Can you turn? Great. Now you've got the right orientation. Now we can compare the two plots. Normally, you'd never see them side by side in the field.
It allows me to see how the plants develop over the year. Here's the period that follows sowing, then all the way through to what happens after winter. How have the plants developed?
To test the seed's purity and to separate them from weeds, Judith Reese used to have to take painstaking samples.
They're small, so it's hard on the eyes. For each crop, there's a set number of grams that have to be examined. For rapeseed, it's 10 grams. It's exhausting. You have to study a large number of samples.
In the future, AI could do that job. At the nearby Bielefeld University of Applied Sciences and Arts, a special sorting machine can classify samples in a fraction of a second, determining what's rapeseed and what can be discarded. The result is pure seed that's more resistant to pests, heat, drought, and heavy rain. That's important for achieving high-yielding harvests in the future. Soreza's research could be significant when it comes to securing global food supplies. In some countries, methods like these could prove essential for people's survival.
Which continent faces the most hunger, and why?
Africa is most affected by hunger, mainly due to poverty, conflict, and climate challenges. AI can help to distribute resources more efficiently, optimize agricultural yields, and develop early warning systems for food shortages.
Adamou Nchange Kouotou knows all about food insecurity in his home country of Cameroon. When he was young, his grandparents' fields often failed to produce enough. He later won a scholarship to study management and technology in Berlin. There, he quickly recognized how AI could benefit agriculture, especially back in Cameroon. After he returned, he developed an app that uses photography to detect pests and plant diseases. It works everywhere.
We've set up all the necessary image archives so that the mobile app also works offline. Because in rural areas where the app is used most frequently, there's usually no internet connection.
His app is specifically tailored to the needs of farmers and helps improve harvests. Interest is growing. One of the farmers who benefits from the app is tomato grower Jean Rameau Sekouchou. He and his family live in a suburb of the Cameroonian capital, Yaoundé.
Bye, Grandma. Bye.
The family's tomato fields are outside the city. It takes Rameau 45 minutes to get to work by motorcycle. The vegetation may look lush and green, but a changing climate has long been causing extreme weather in Cameroon. Heavy rainfall alternates with long periods of drought. Rameau's crops are increasingly affected by pests and diseases. The farm uses pesticides, including insecticides. Sometimes it takes a real cocktail of chemicals to solve the problem. But the products are both expensive and harmful to people's health.
When it's not raining, the number of insects in the field quickly increases. When it rains, there are fewer. It's easy to see here. All the leaves are a little infested. The insects are everywhere. If you don't treat it quickly, the whole field gets infested. The blue product costs 4,000 a kilo.
That's the equivalent of about €6, more than 3 days' earnings for the farmer. In Cameroon, more than 40% of people make their living from agriculture. Around 23% of Cameroonians live below the poverty line. In addition to climate change, poor infrastructure and expensive imports are exacerbating the country's economic problems. So good harvests are crucial. That's where Nchange's app comes in. Rameau has been using it with his tomato crops for 2 years.
Bonjour, monsieur. Comment vous allez? Non, ça va. Et la famille? Non, ça va, ça va. Ah, d'accord, d'accord. Et l'état de santé des plantes, est-ce que la production est prometteuse? Donc jusqu'ici, c'est sans souci. Jusqu'ici, on peut avoir espoir.
Rameau uses the app to scan the infested leaves. The AI identifies the disease or pest, then tells the farmer which product and dosage to use. That helps reduce the amount of chemicals put on the crops.
Plants they suffer from late blight. Put them inside container with water, like 100 grams of the powder inside 1 liter of water.
Before I had the app, I used a lot of pesticides. I treated the crops with a mix of everything until something worked. I wasted a lot of money that way.
But now, Rameau has saved enough money to allow him to cultivate a 3rd hectare of land. App developer Nchange is extremely pleased with the outcome.
For farmers, the economic aspect is the most important. Productivity among African farmers is 8 times lower than in the rest of the world, which is why we need investment in Africa.
The United Nations agrees that artificial intelligence will play a crucial role in securing the world's food supply. But while billions are being poured into AI in the EU and United Kingdom, little is happening in developing countries. In Cameroon, several thousand farmers are now using the Recognition app. It's a sign that artificial intelligence is helping in the fight to improve food security. And Nchange wants to take things even further.
Artificial intelligence alone can't fight hunger in the world. We need policies that support its use as well as investment. That way, we can exploit the potential of artificial intelligence when it comes to food production. Farmers are surprised when they learn that there are solutions that can be developed by Cameroonians themselves.
As well as food security, there's another big problem that needs solving, not just in Cameroon, but all over the world.
Ameka, do we have enough fresh water on the planet?
Yes, there is enough fresh water on the planet, but the distribution is unequal. Some regions have an abundance, while others suffer from extreme water scarcity. Agriculture consumes about 70% of the available fresh water.
We need water to survive. Isn't it dangerous to put AI in charge of it?
Human oversight and ethical guidelines are crucial to ensure that AI is used responsibly.
Andalusia in Spain is considered Europe's vegetable garden. From above, the area around Almeria looks like a sea of plastic because of the vast number of greenhouses. In recent years, there have been increasingly frequent periods of extreme drought here, just like in many other parts of the world. Around half of humanity suffers from water shortages, whether seasonal or chronic. In 2023, Andalusia declared a state of emergency multiple times. At the end of the year, water reserves were around a third lower than in the previous year. Joaquín Soriano Fernandez is taking action against the increasing water shortages.
¿Qué capacidad tenemos ahora mismo estamos fabricando? ¿Cuántos equipos, Sergio, estamos fabricando o podemos fabricar en un...
The agricultural engineer grew up in a small town amid the greenhouses of Andalusia. He's always felt the problems and worries of local farmers keenly.
For as long as I can remember, the climate, the conditions, and our way of life have been changing.
In 2020, Soriano helped develop a system of sensors connected to AI software. They calculate when each plant needs water and how much. His company now has 40 employees in 3 locations. One of his customers is paprika farmer David Jimenez.
Hi David, how are you? This is Ruben.
Hi there. Where should the devices go? Further up? Surely then we'll get different readings.
Yes, there are already others down there. So here.
Jimenez has been using the system for several years. Soriano is now installing some new sensors. They measure air and soil temperature, humidity, and solar radiation, among other things.
We use two sensors to check how quickly the plant is absorbing moisture from the soil. Both sensors have to be equally deep in the ground.
The conditions up here are different from down there, so I decided to install more sensors. They'll allow me to know more precisely whether more or less water is needed up here compared to down there.
The AI controls the irrigation system and the greenhouse windows to regulate humidity. It independently calculates the optimum values. All the farmer has to do is switch it on.
He used to irrigate based on his experience. Now he's saving water to the tune of 40%. If you did that all over Almeria, it would be 30,000 hectares, where you could save 30 to 40%. That's millions of liters of water.
Thanks to AI, the potential for savings is immense. In the future, harvests could be safeguarded despite rising temperatures. And AI could even play a role in doing the harvesting itself.
Ameka, will artificial intelligence change the job market?
Harvest workers could lose their jobs. They must retrain or look for new employment.
Do you think this will lead to social problems?
Automation may exacerbate social inequality and create new social issues regarding the labour market. AI can automate some harvesting work, which could lead to job losses, but it can also create new jobs in technology and maintenance.
On the outskirts of Madrid, a new vehicle is being developed. It could soon revolutionize harvesting. Its inventor is Joaquín Fernandez Saavedra.
It recognizes the really unripe ones.
The green ones.
Yeah, the very green ones, but it struggles with yellow or orange ones.
Yes, we talked about that.
The researchers have spent 3 years working on the POC RoboCrop harvesting robot. It recognizes the ripe fruits and has 2 arms to pick them.
It analyzes everything it sees with this intelligence that we call artificial, because it isn't human. What's it actually doing?
It perceives its environment. It knows what a tomato is and what a stalk is. We humans learn that from an early age. The robot has to be taught.
To help it learn, the team uses an artificial neural network, which works in a similar way to a human brain. The robot gets continuous training in the art of picking.
Today, of course, humans harvest much faster than robots. But robots can work 24 hours a day, so that lack of speed is balanced out. The robot can help us with mindless tasks, and conditions during harvesting often aren't good. It's very hot in greenhouses in Spain during working hours.
If this tomato was riper than the others, but the arm couldn't reach it, the robot would decide not to try to pick it, because it has real physical limitations that often don't exist in the virtual environment. Now he's got one. He puts it in the basket along with the hundreds of others he's already picked.
The RoboCrop harvests about half as much as a human can in 8 hours. But because it works around the clock, it gets more done. And it is still improving.
There's always been progress in human history, usually for the better. Of course, a lot of jobs have disappeared, but new ones have also been created. All it is change. It's our responsibility as a society, and the responsibility of governments, to help the labor market adapt.
Another big issue is what we do with food once it's been farmed and harvested.
Ameka, why do we waste so much food?
We waste food through inefficient distribution, overproduction, and a lack of appreciation. There is a lack of awareness and a lack of effective systems to prevent waste.
We actually order 6 kilos of iceberg lettuce a week. We really get through it. With paprika, it's usually 2 to 3 kilos, and tomatoes, 5 or 6 kilos.
As a chef, Tim Brown knows how valuable food is. He's embraced new technology, using an AI to help prevent waste in his kitchen.
We have to become more progressive as we move into the future, but it won't take my job away. What I do is a craft. AI can't replace me as a chef, and that's a good thing.
It's nearly lunchtime in the German town of Lünen. The canteen of this large waste management company serves up to 170 people per day. For 3 years, Valentin Belza has been helping catering manager Christian Löffler to prevent food waste. The idea came about when Belza and a friend from school asked themselves how canteens could better plan the quantities of food they prepare. So they founded a startup that uses AI to do just that.
Globally, around 1/3 of all food is lost along the entire supply chain, while a lot of the world goes hungry. I know that if we can optimize the supply chain, we can create a lot of added value. A chef isn't a statistician, to put it bluntly. I think you get a pretty good feeling for it once you've done the job for a while. But what the AI can do is continuously evaluate the entire data history.
The idea behind it is actually quite simple. Data on the food sold in recent months is supplemented by weather data and information like upcoming holiday dates. An algorithm then makes predictions based on the data. Valentin Belza promises his customers up to 30% less waste. His technology lets the chef know how popular a dish is and how much to buy to prepare it. Today's menu, French fries or pasta.
It's really 50-50. They're both similar in the sense that they're two nice light summer dishes. Both work well and both go down well with diners.
For even more precise numbers, the chef tells the AI software how popular each dish was. This data has already improved his own understanding of what the canteen guests like and dislike. In Germany, 11 million tons of food get thrown away every year, and 17% of that is from catering outside the home, for example in restaurants and canteens. With the help of AI, the canteen in Lünen threw away 1,111 fewer meals last year. This saves money, water and resources, and also reduces CO2 emissions.
I was surprised. The savings are a lot higher than we first thought.
Of course, we're happy about every user and every kitchen team we can help with reducing food waste.
The fries were the winner over the pasta, but what's left over?
That's the amount we can always expect. We throw away relatively little, almost nothing.
711 grams in total.
For a company canteen, that's practically zero. It's improved a lot. It's not 100%, but today that's also because a group of diners we weren't expecting came in. That's the way it is. You have to use your experience to make things work.
Artificial intelligence is helping improve the way we feed ourselves, from the field to the kitchen. But technology can't do everything.
AI alone can't end hunger, but it can make a significant contribution.
It's just a piece of plastic and metal. So if we make an imitation, then we're left looking at the detail of what is it about us that defines us. And the thing that I find is there's still a very, very big gap. So really it's a reflection on us. It's about exploring what it is for us, what defines us as human.
People keep fighting against hunger and for sustainable agriculture, but progress is slowed by economic interests, political hurdles, and the unequal distribution of resources.
Perhaps one thing our artificial intelligence is teaching us is that we already have all the ingredients we need to tackle hunger around the world. Now, it's just about finding the right recipe.